Welcome to the Book Party Podcast.
Join us as we journey into the world of books with Michael T.
Prepare to be captivated by engaging interviews, insightful discussions, and fascinating stories. You'll discover new adventures and gain insight into the creative process of the authors themselves as they share their struggles and accomplishments. Now let's hear from Michael T.
This is Michael T. Welcome, dear listeners, to another insightful episode of the Book Party Podcast. I'm thrilled to introduce our special guest today, the accomplished author, Ava Brooke. Ava brings with her a wealth of knowledge and experience, having dedicated over 3 decades of the field of education. With a teacher's degree and a Bachelor of Education, Ava has been on a mission to support and guide adults with dealing with challenging children. Her debut nonfiction book, Behavior is Communication: Parenting and Teaching Kids with Behavior Issues, is a beacon of wisdom for parents, caregivers, and teachers alike. Within its pages lies a treasure trove of valuable insights, practical tools, effective strategies, and heartwarming tips that promise to revolutionize how we understand and manage children's behavior. Ava's passion for helping children shine through as she emphasizes the significance of affection, attention, and love for every child, including our inner child. Her book is a testament to her unwavering commitment to creating peaceful and harmonious environments of our little ones, fostering understanding and connection, and ultimately unlocking their full potential. In Behavior is Communication, Ava reveals how behavior serves as a language through which children communicate their emotions, desires, and fears. By learning to decipher these signals, adults can adapt their daily routines to meet a child's needs better, strengthening the bonds between adults and children. Whether you're a parenting newborn, a toddler, or a teenager, this book offers indispensable guidance for improving your connection with your child. It covers a range of common behavioral challenges, from tantrums to anxiety, providing positive and practical strategies to address them. But that's not all. Ava's book delves deeper, helping you grasp the fundamentals of behavior, understanding the stages of brain development and their impact in behavior and identity and triggers of challenging behavior. To tease your curiosity a bit further, here's a sneak peek of what you'll find inside the pages of Behavior is Communication. Techniques for calming your child when faced with complex behavior, profound insights into decoding your child's unspoken needs, and powerful messages of resilience and hope, never giving up on the journey of parenting. So suppose you're a parent, caregiver, or teacher seeking to create a more loving, supporting, and nurturing environment for the children in your life. In that case, this book is the compass on the transformative journey. Join us as we dive deep into the wisdom of Ava Brooke and her remarkable book. Ava will share her expertise, heartwarming stories, and unyielding message that understanding and empathy can change lives. Ava Brooke's Behavior is Communication is not just a book. It's a roadmap to a brighter future for you and your child. I would like you to stay tuned as we unravel the magic of this transformative work. And without further ado, please join me in welcoming Ava Brooke to the Book Party Podcast. So, Ava, why don't you take it from here, fill in the blanks a bit, and tell our listeners about yourself.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you for inviting me onto your podcast. And it's a pleasure to be here. So I'd like everyone to just imagine you're on a serene beach, with gentle waves washing against the shore. And in the distance, you spot a child building a sandcastle. Their eyes are sparkling with determination and creativity, And now picture this. Just as they complete their masterpiece, a rogue wave crashes in, tipping the castle and leaving the child heartbroken. Hi, fellow listeners. I'm Ava, and I'm here as a guest on this extraordinary podcast dedicated to understanding child behaviour. Just like that child on the beach, we as parents, caregivers, and educators, we often encounter unexpected waves that disrupt the harmony in a child's world. My journey as a non-fiction author, specialising in child behaviour, is like that child on the beach. I've dedicated myself to understanding the complexities of children's behaviour, offering insights and strategies to help rebuild the sandcastles of emotional and social development. So in the next few moments with Michael, I'll be sharing examples from my work as a real-world sandcastle moment where a child's behaviour transformed and how we as adults can learn from it. So let's get ready to dive into the world of child behaviour with me, Ava Brooke, and together let's uncover the treasures understanding the nurturing of our children's growth.
So, on your publishing journey, we'll get to this first. Did you go through the self-publishing route or finding an agent and agency route or somewhere in between? How did you go about your publishing?
Well, I want to share a bit about my self-publishing journey, and it is a little bit of an in-between, and I believe it's a story that many of you can relate to. Because as writers, we pour our hearts and souls into our work, crafting stories and that are not just words on paper, but pieces of our very essence. So when it comes to publishing those stories, we all want them to shine and we want them to be the best they can be. So that's where my journey took an exciting turn. You see, like many of you, I chose the path of self-publishing to bring my work to the world. But I quickly realized that creating a truly polished and professional book requires a team effort. So that's when I made a crucial decision to partner with a professional editing agency. So these talented folks specialize in refining the manuscripts, fine-tuning every sentence and ensuring that my book reached a real level of quality that I couldn't achieve on my own. So it was a game changer for me. Working with a dedicated team of editors, I watched my book transform into a book that I could be proud of. They not only corrected grammar and spelling, but helped me to improve the flow, the pacing, basically the overall readability of my work. So this collaboration was more about it was more than just editing. It was about elevating my book to a whole new level. It allowed me to present my readers with a book that I could be proud of and one that would captivate and resonate with them. So for me, fellow authors, if you're on a self-publishing path, don't underestimate the power of professional editing. It's not about handing over your creative control. It's about enhancing your vision, making it the best it can be. So in the end, self-publishing doesn't mean going it alone for me. It means, getting someone to really take your book to that next level.
Well, when you wrote this book, maybe you can take us to a point of what you would consider your worst author moment in writing this book.
Well, during my journey as an author, I've encountered numerous highs and lows. But one moment that stands out for me, and probably the worst author moment, was when my author went completely AWOL. We'd built a great working relationship, and we communicated well, and I thought we were on great terms. But all out of the blue, there was just complete silence. No emails, no updates, just radio, I suppose you could say internet silence. So I can't express how incredibly stressful this was. And I was feeling quite disheartened as well because it was 6 weeks of no contact. And I had all these questions swirling around in my mind. What's happening with my book? Oh my gosh, it's not going to be edited. Will it be finished in time for the deadline? Do I need to find another editor? I really was. The uncertainty was maddening, and it felt like my publishing dreams were hanging on a thread. But I have to say that from that experience, I learned several valuable lessons. Trust and patience. Because I realized that the importance of trust and patience in the author, the editor relationship, is essential. I had to have faith in my collaborators and understand that sometimes life can throw unexpected challenges their way. So patience during such times can certainly be a saving grace. Have a backup plan. While trusting your team is crucial, it's also wise to have a contingency plan in case things go wrong. Whether it's having a backup editor in mind or a plan for handling unexpected delays, being prepared can really help you navigate difficult situations more smoothly. I think my mantra was don't give up, have faith. So this experience taught me not to give up, even when facing seemingly insurmountable obstacles. It's easy to lose hope, but it's essential to have faith in your project and keep moving one step forward. But I think the main thing I learned was one day at a time. I adopted the one day at a time mantra. And during this period of uncertainty, it's a reminder to focus on what you can control each day. Just inching closer to your goal, even when the road ahead was quite unclear. But in the end, the story had a positive twist. My editor eventually returned, and we resumed our work. The experience, though challenging, strengthened our professional relationship, and we successfully finished my book on time. So if I can share any advice, if you ever find yourself facing a seemingly insurmountable setback, just remember my story and trust, patience, faith, and taking it one day at a time. It can see you through even the toughest of times in your writing journey, so don't give up on your dreams. Just keep pushing forward.
Oh, for sure. One thing I have built in when I'm doing my books, one thing I have built in with my editors is a communication strategy so that I don't have a big blank space, and I kind of have a communication that I know what they're kind of doing, and the adjustments they're making, because I want to be able to kind of approve some of the adjustments because, they're your words.
100%, Michael.
You want to make sure your words are getting out there the way you want to, but at the same time, you have to trust your editor to be editing it properly, that, it's a set of eyes that you need as a professional editor, and you need it to be done right, too, at the same time. But that communication strategy actually really helps to eliminate some of that dead time. So let's flip the coin a bit. This is what I call an epiphany moment. Take us to a point where when you're not actually writing, you're actually doing something else. You could be driving, you can be cooking dinner, you could be sleeping or getting ready to go to bed, whatever the case may be. And all of a sudden, this bright light bulb just bursts in your head, this idea, this thought, and you just absolutely, man, I got to get a pen and paper. I got to write this down right now, or get my phone and talk into it, whatever the case may be, so that idea doesn't fade away. If you document it later, it's not going to be the same. So you got to do it right now. You have an idea. Did that ever happen to you?
Always. Yeah. I quite often wake up early hours of the morning, and I actually have a note on my iPhone, and I just write and write and write. And I could be writing for hours. But an aha moment for me was actually when I decided to become a writer, Michael. Can I take you on that journey? It was a real pivotal moment for me, and it's when it changed the course of my career. And I said to myself, wow, I was once a health teacher, meaning that I helped children who were too unwell to go to school, but you're still their teacher and you work with them, going to their home and supporting them. And I was tasked with supporting a young teenage girl who'd faced years of really deep, challenging behaviour problems. Now, she'd built walls around her and trusted no one. And she was disengaged from learning, and it was clear that the conventional strategies to get her involved in the learning process wasn't going to work. But I could see something in her, something incredible. She was talented in music, talented in her field of anything she spoke about. She spoke with intelligence. So I saw potential and resilience and a yearning for change buried right underneath all those layers of defiance. And Michael, that was my aha moment. I realized that to reach her, I needed to think outside the box. I needed to focus not just on academics, but on building her self-esteem, her confidence, her trust, but not only in herself, in me as well. I had to help her discover her own gifts and talents, which she also didn't recognize in herself. But one thing I did one thing I did do consistently was pick her up every day on time. I was never late. And if there was any change in routine, I made sure to inform her well before. And I always greeted her with a warm smile and genuine enthusiasm. I'd wait patiently if she needed time to process things or simply just get ready. But slowly and steadily, she began to trust me and started recognizing her own talents. Actually, we were in the car, and I would chat away to her as I was driving her to the classroom, and she wouldn't say anything for probably 3 months, just nod but not speak. And then one day she says to me, "Miss, don't you ever shut up?" And I laughed and says, "Not until you talk to me." And after that, it seemed to break down the barriers, and she started speaking to me. So I guess the culmination of this journey was that this young lady passed her exams and went on to pursue a career in engineering. And looking back, I realized that there's a power of trust, patience, that can really transform and impact on recognizing and nurturing a child's potential. It really was my aha moment that drove me to write my book, Behavior is Communication. I felt a burning desire to share my knowledge and experience, gained over 30 years of working with children. I wanted to offer strategies that parents and caregivers and teachers could use to redirect their perspective on challenging behavior. I wanted them to understand that behavior is a form of communication, a way for a child to express their needs, their fears, and emotions. So my book became a guide to help adults decode these signals, build stronger connections with their children, to unlock their full potential. And it didn't stop there, because my next book delves even deeper into these strategies, offering practical insights and approaches that can be applied at home. But in sharing the story of my aha moment, I really hope to inspire others to look beyond challenging behaviour and to see the potential and the yearning for change in every child, and to recognise that with the right support and understanding, we can empower the next generation to flourish and to succeed. But it really all starts with a moment of understanding and compassion. So when I lie in bed at night, or I wake up early hours of the morning, an idea hits me, or a moment that I remember from my teaching, I realise that there's a need to write about it. And that's first stemmed from this aha moment.
Okay, well, let's turn the coin here a little bit. What is the one thing that you're the most excited about or fired up about right now today?
Okay, wonderful podcast audience. I'm absolutely fired up to be here today. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to Michael for extending this opportunity to me. Yep, it's a chance to share something that's become not just a passion, but a mission in my life. You see, what truly fires me within me is the belief that we have the power to transform the world through understanding, empathy, and a shift in perspective. I'm passionate about helping parents, caregivers, and teachers see beyond the surface of the behaviours and discover the profound meaning behind them. Imagine if we could all take a step back, speak a little less, and observe a little more. What if we could peel back the layers of trauma and fear or not neurodiverse challenges that often hide beneath challenging behaviours? What if we could see the child not as a problem to be solved, but as a unique individual with incredible potential waiting to be unlocked? And that's what today is all about for me. This platform, this moment, is an opportunity to share not just my book, but the strategies and insights I've gathered over years of working with children. It's about igniting a domino effect, a ripple of change that can spread far and wide. Because when we recognize that every child is worthy, regardless of their challenges or differences, we see a powerful example for the collective. We inspire others to see the inherent worth and the potential in every individual. And no matter their age, their background, or their circumstances. So today I'm here to be a part of that domino effect, to contribute to the collective effort of changing the world, one child, one family, one community at a time. Because I believe that together we can create a world where understanding and empathy are the guiding principles, where every child is seen and heard and valued. So Michael, thank you. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to be on this journey.
Absolutely. Now, this is Michael T. We invite you to go to bookpartypodcast.com, hit that subscribe tab on top, then scroll down to the icon of your choice, such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, or Odyssey, where you can download and follow us there, and please leave a review. Please don't forget to sign up for our weekly video newsletter to get the latest information on our upcoming shows. Now, Ava, we're going to enter now into the lightning round. The lightning round is designed for 4 pointed questions for 4 pointed answers. Okay. So before you became an author, what was holding you back from writing or becoming an author in the first place?
Well, there's something fascinating about how life can lead us down unexpected paths. And if you'd asked me years ago if ever I was dreamed of becoming an author, I probably would have said no. But I've always had this deep-seated passion of supporting parents and teachers for equipping them with strategies to help children, to help children flourish. So for me, I looked around and I couldn't help but notice the increasing challenges in schools and the disappearing supports and systems for parents right from the birth of their child. The world's changed, and it was daunting. So it got me thinking, how can I reach a bigger audience? How can I make a more significant impact? And then there was my aha moment. It struck me that I could do this. I could share my knowledge and insights just beyond the immediate circles I had been working with. I could reach parents, caregivers, and teachers on a broader scale and offer them strategies and support on the platform of becoming an author. But with any grand idea, doubts and questions started creeping in. How would I even begin? The first hurdle was the how. Next came the financial concerns. And then the fear of judgment. What will people think? What if all my efforts amounted to nothing and I didn't sell a single book? So yeah, it was a bit of a roller coaster of emotions, and I realized I need to take some of my own advice. I'd been teaching others not to give up, to persevere, to embrace challenges and opportunities. So I decided to give it a go, Michael, and take that leap of faith.
And there you have
So,
it.
yep, today I stand as an author in my first book.
And now you are published.
I know, it's exciting.
That's great, isn't it? Once you started writing, what was the best advice you had ever received?
Well, Michael, I've been fortunate enough to receive some incredible advice in my life. But if I were to pick one that has guided me most profoundly, it would be undoubtedly never give up. It's a mantra taken from the famous speech by Winston Churchill during one of those most challenging periods in history. Those three simple words have become my compass, my North Star, especially as I've embarked on this author's journey. But there's another piece of wisdom equally invaluable, and that comes from a fellow author and colleague. And they told me that in the world of writing, it's often said you need to write at least 6 books before you may start to have real traction. So it's a reminder that success in any creative endeavor often requires persistence, dedication, and unwavering belief in your craft. So here I stand today, ready to embrace both pieces of advice. I'm following the footsteps of Winston Churchill by never giving up, no matter the obstacles or setbacks. But I'm also taking the advice of my fellow author to heart, understanding that writing and publishing may not yield immediate results, but each book I write brings me one step closer to my goals.
I'll give you a piece of advice that's not coming from me, but it's coming from people I interview, and it's a lot of them. You cannot edit a blank page, so just write.
I love that.
Okay.
That's cool.
Let's share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success as a writer.
Well, organization. It's always been a cornerstone of my approach to writing and sharing knowledge. It's a habit that I hold dear, and it's proven to be invaluable in my journey as an author. I firmly believe that when you're sharing your expertise or any knowledge, clarity is key. So that's why I make sure that I have a solid outline for my book, and I invest the time required for thorough research. And sometimes this process can take months, but it's imperative to me because it really ensures that I can share my knowledge in the clearest and the most effective way possible. So I must admit, I'm fortunate to be naturally organized. It's a trait that's been with me for as long as I can remember, but I don't take this for granted. Actually, I'm filled with gratitude for all the opportunities that actually have come my way and the experiences that have shaped me and the incredible people who have supported me on this journey.
Well, it's incredibly important, especially in nonfiction, to have a very good, solid outline and a very well-researched outline. And, I can't do it without it. Matter of fact, all my books happen to be on parenting. And they're mainly
Yes.
dealing with teenagers. And the one book deals with all ages, but it's Mastering the Art of Parenting. And then the other three actually are on teenagers. And the one I'm working on right now is basically what every teenager should know before they leave home.
Great.
Okay,
Very,
that's not the
very
title of the
important.
book, but it's really important, and it's geared towards the parents. But anyway, it's just something that's really important, and it's kind of the last one out of the series. So, what is when you're writing your book, what is an internet resource that you can share with our listeners that you use?
Well, Michael, I use a lot of the resources that probably a lot of the other authors use as well. There's so many resources out there for us, and especially if you surf through YouTube. But for me, it was quite profound, because when I was coming onto this podcast, I have to admit I was nervous, because I've never done a podcast before. And then I asked myself, why am I nervous? I'm speaking about my passion, so what makes me nervous? But then I wondered how to get my message across in a podcast, and I was contemplating this question, and I searched the internet, and I came across somebody called Nathan Gold. And I believe his advice and tools can be a game changer for aspiring authors, especially if they're looking to promote themselves on podcasts. And his coaching was about how to captivate an audience in less than 30 seconds. It was build, and it was the number 2, grow, build to grow. And it was found on YouTube. But Nathan Gold works with courses and coaching and presentation skills. He takes you through some simple but really effective steps. And as writers, we often find ourselves in situations where we need to captivate an audience, not just in our stories, but when we're doing podcasts, during readings, book readings, author interviews, or pitching our stories to potential readers, publishers, or agents. So let's face it, those first 30 seconds are pretty crucial, because they can determine whether someone's going to continue listening to you or whether they move on to something else. But to me, this resource offers valuable insights and strategies that go beyond just public speaking. It's about effective communication, making memorable first impressions, and definitely connecting with our audience on a personal level. So that's Nathan Gold on Build to Grow.
Okay, well, Ava, we're going to enter into what's called the grand finale. In the grand finale, what I want you to do is take your time and tell our listeners about your book.
Okay, well, thank you, Michael. Well, before we conclude today's podcast, I want to leave you with some valuable thoughts, but most of all, a special thanks to our dear friend Michael. It's first and foremost my gratitude for all of you for joining us today. It's been a pleasure sharing insights and tips with you, all of you. And I've been looking for ways to enhance parenting skills, and this book is really aimed to support parents, caregivers, teachers, or anyone who's out there working with children with behaviour problems. I invite you to connect with me on social media. You can find me on Facebook by searching author Ava Brooke. On my page, where you'll discover a wealth of free parenting tips and insights that I've gathered throughout the years of my experience. But that's not all. I've also created a supportive community on Facebook called Raising Successful Kids, Tips and Advice for Positive Behaviour Management. This is a place where parents and teachers can come together to support each other, and I encourage you to join our community and to be a part of this positive, nurturing space. But lastly, I am thrilled to promote my first book, Behaviour is Communication, Parenting and Teaching Kids with Behaviour Issues. And it's available on Amazon. It's e-Kindle, it's print, it's audio, and it's also, I'm working and will be uploaded soon, a Spanish translation. You can grab a copy directly from there. You'll gain insights into what behaviour truly means, understand your child, just try what your child is trying to communicate. You can explore the impact of different brain stages. We talk about the green brain, the orange brain, and the red brain, and coming back into the calming green brain again. And you can discover strategies of managing challenging situations. And as a special bonus, I've recently completed a short ebook titled Managing Tantrums and Meltdowns, and that's a guide for parents, which I'm offering free. But to get your hands on it, simply visit my Facebook page, author Ava Brooke, and send me a direct message for the download link. And the big news is my second book is currently in the works and will soon be available on Amazon. So stay tuned for updates and exciting new content. But most of all, thank you. Thank you for inviting me on this podcast, and I look forward to continuing this journey of raising successful kids with you. So thank you, Michael.
You betcha. Ava, we thank you so much for being here with us today and opening up to us, and I'm sure our listeners appreciate this too. So we thank you, dear listeners, for tuning in, and if you would like to learn more about behaviors communication and incredible wisdom of Ava Brooke, be sure to grab a copy of her book, available on Amazon. Again, this is Michael T. To all our listeners, I would invite you to go to bookpartypodcast.com, hit that subscribe tab on top, scroll down to the icon of your choice, where you can find us on one of your favorite platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, or Odyssey. You can download and follow us there, and please leave a review. Don't forget to sign up for our weekly video newsletter and get the latest information on our upcoming shows. Book Party Podcast is owned and powered by MTM Legacy Publishing, LLC. This is Michael T., and we are signing off.
You must not miss our next episode as we delve into a world of inspiration, entertainment, and thought-provoking insights. Join Michael T. on the next Book Party podcast and experience a new adventure, a new story, and a complete immersion into the world of Pages Unveiled, Chronicles of the Writing Journey.